My name is JJ Valdez. Some people know me as JJ the RT. The students know me as Pro V. We are here with my good friend, Wendy Stout, Dr. Wendy Stout, and she has been asked to be a part of MoreRTs.com, and for some strange reason, she asked me to do the interview. You've been around the world like twice, I think, since last time we saw each other. How you doing?
I'm doing really good. It's been a busy semester, but I'm doing good.
Let's kind of just take a dive into your journey as you came up the ranks to become known as the Wendy Stout.
Actually started school to become a registered nurse because I was a single mom with 3 young children on welfare, and I needed to figure out how to support my family. And as I was finishing up my prerequisites for that program, lo and behold, this new respiratory program came available. But I was also struggling as a single parent with a child with severe asthma. And a respiratory therapist came to me in the middle of the night while he was in the hospital and said, "Hey, you should be a respiratory therapist. You'll understand your kid better."
I kind of want to take a step back to like respiratory school, right? I worked from midnight to 6 a.m. and then I would go to clinic from 6 to 2 simply to make ends meet. And I wasn't on welfare. I didn't have a child that I was raising, but we all have these types of struggles. So is there a time or a memory that you have during RT school that you would like to share that would like help maybe relate to somebody that's going through a struggle right now?
I'm studying, I think it was arterial blood gases. And again, the same RT that talked me into becoming a respiratory therapist sat down with me and we just went over these ABGs, and I'm like, okay, this clicks.
And what's so crazy, do you remember that respiratory therapist's name?
I do.
Yeah. Like, how do you honor him or her? How do you honor him now?
So the funny thing is that when I got my first job as a respiratory therapist at the hospital in Los Angeles, I walk in and I'm doing my interview. And I start to tell them the story about how I met Carlos. His name is Carlos. And how I wanted to become an RT so that my son would stop spending so much time in the hospital. And in walks Carlos. I had no idea he was working at that hospital at that time. And it was just amazing. So he was a very good diagnostician. He would pick up the problems that nobody could. And the tricks that he taught me while I was then being a new RT at this hospital that he worked at, I take those tricks and help my current students with those. But the other thing that he taught me too is to encourage people to fight through the hard things. Because again, I was struggling with my child in the hospital all of the time. And something that I give to my students is, you can do this. It may be hard right now, but look at how far I've come, and you can come that far too.
When you're going through the storm, to earn resilience, it sucks. So what would you say to somebody that is kind of going through that storm to get them over the hump to become resilient on the backside?
I think part of it is to make sure that their motivation is in the right place. Find that motivation. And I'll be honest, I had a picture that I would stick on my computer of my 3 kids. And that was my motivation because I wanted to do better for them. I wanted them to see that if you put in hard work, anything is possible. And then to remember, hey, I got through this. I did this. So I can do the next challenge, because there's always going to be a next challenge.
Wendy, just to kind of wrap this up with a bow, you did not want to do this. You did not want to do this at all. So what would you say to somebody who is approached by the NBRC to do MoreRTs.com? What would you say to them after this being on the backside of your interview?
I think that if you have a story to share, just remember that your story may touch at least one person, and then that person can touch another person. And in the end, we can have a stronger profession, but we can also have a stronger community. Until talking to you, JJ, I didn't realize that maybe my story could touch more than my own students in my own community. And I was even reluctant to share it with my students. I only shared it when I could see that they were struggling. And now I've gotten to the point where
I'll tell the students, this is my story, because I want them to know that they can make it. And same thing for anybody out there. Anybody that's struggling, there is somebody there to help you. Ask for the help. We've all had a struggle at some point or another, and we can all get through it. If you're thinking about being a respiratory therapist, I think it's a great opportunity, and that you can touch many lives in many different ways. It's not one-dimensional.
Go all in. If you're going to do this, go all in. There are so many different avenues, as Wendy was saying. You can be, I don't even want to go down the list because there are so many different ways that you can go with this, and I don't want to leave something out and then somebody be upset with me that I left out their profession. But there are so many different things that you can do with this. I tell my students, and I tell people giving the elevator speech, what's more important than breathing? And I just wait. And we're there to help you with the very first breath, the very last breath, and every other breath that you may struggle with. As a respiratory therapist, we're there to help you.
Yeah, that's one thing that I tell people too, that, we get to witness somebody's first breath and somebody's last breath and everything in between.